Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pat Smucker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pat Smucker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Hebrew Bible. I use the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel because I was raised Lutheran, and King James is a distant relative of mine, so it's the family Bible. So I used, and the language also was a key to it because it was the most familiar with the translation. And so I used it. What I did was I followed the directions of the prophet Isaiah, and I put together, well, I took apart the prophecy of the Old Testament, and then I put it back together in its proper form, line by line and precept by precept, here a little, there a little. And so I wrote it into a book called the Book of Zion. And the Book of Zion contains a list of instructions of how to fulfill prophecy and therefore bring God back to earth. And so I took from it, I started the fulfillment of prophecy in 2007. In 2015, I solidified the prophecy by carrying out the main event of the prophetic verse. And now I am completing my requirements for being the Zion of the Most High God of Israel by publishing peace without the use of money and calling for a camp out strike, which I call Camp Out for Freedom or something like that. Anyway, Camp Out for Freedom, following in the footsteps of Moses to take a stand against um, police brutality, which is a direct result of not only the suppression of the minorities, but the war on drugs. A lot of the violence stems from the belief by the police that the person that they're confronting is a drug user and therefore an open target. They don't see drug users or minorities as people who are citizens. We are the enemy. We have to be stamped out at all costs. It's not just suppression of minorities. It's suppression of the minority that I stand up to fight for, the drug users. And I have a question for all of you who were A, at the riot on the 6th of January at the Capitol, or B, part of the whole Trump movement. I have one question for you. Do you use drugs? Do you get high? Because if you use drugs and you get high and you listen to rock and roll music, then you're following the wrong person. Because the very first line of prophecy in the book of Zion says that the grave, God, shall place into power the basest of men. Donald Trump is the basest of men. He is so base, dishonorable, and you follow him blindly. You listen to all of his lies and you take it for truth. Well, I have a question for you. If it came down to it, brass taxes down to, if you had to say, I choose Trump or I choose drugs, which would you choose? If you had to give up drugs in order to be Trump's puppets, would you give up drugs for Trump? Because if you wouldn't give up drugs for Trump, then you don't belong with Trump. Because even if Trump does use drugs, he is the basest of men. And he will lead you to violence, insurrection, and prison. And he doesn't stand for drug use. He doesn't care that you use drugs. But I do. My name is Zion. And I stand up for all drug users. And I say, bullshit, prove to me that drugs are really that big of a problem. Because I have proof in the Book of Zion, in the Pot Smoker's Bible, that proves. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't be doing that. That's one of Trump's crappy shits. Anyway, the Bible predicts the events of the year 2020 and the events of the year 2021 or 2022 if it takes that long. It's like the prophecy doesn't go by a calendar. But the next big event in prophetic, in the prophecy is the rise of Zion. And you who use drugs are the people of Zion. You're not an American citizen. You lost your citizenship when Ronald Reagan declared a war on our people. The war on drugs. Look up the word war, my friends. The war is fought between nations, not by a nation against its own people. So I declare that every drug user in America is an refugee of the war on drugs. We have no nation of our own. Trump doesn't speak for you. Trump speaks for money. And you don't have money, do you? If you had money, you'd be sitting at home nice and safe and cozy. But you don't have money because you don't have a job. And why do you not have a job? Because Trump didn't address COVID. He's the problem, not the solution. And he represents the problem. And the problem is money. How many of you have donated to his crap? Every time he speaks to you, he wants your money. Does he not have a donation thing where, contribute to my cause, contribute to my cause, contribute to my cause? Well, let me tell you one thing, motherfuckers. I'll never ask for your money. I don't want your money. Now, I want you to spend your money on what's important. I'll tell you, it's like we can go camping. You can go to the grocery store one time. Go to the produce aisle and get all the vegetables in the produce aisle. Get one of everything. And get all the fruits too. And then we'll go camping. And we'll eat the salad and we'll take the parts that we don't eat and we'll use them to plant a garden. And we'll plant a garden. It's like you can take the tip of the carrot and you can sprout the bushy part on the top and that will give you seeds. You can take a stalk of celery and regrow celery from it. So, for one trip to the grocery store, you can feed yourself forever. You don't need money. So, I'm never going to ask you for money. What I'm going to ask you for is your time, your labor, your contributions to the group, your unity in a cause that is just. Trump's cause is not just. He portrays it to be just, but what did he do? When he did the big tax break, who got the benefit from it? Not you. Corporations got the benefit from it. The big rich people got the big tax break. We got a little handout that lasts until 2024. And then it goes away. He says he's going to give, but then he takes more. That's all you're ever going to get from that fucking asshole. But if you choose to abandon Trump and follow the prophet Isaiah, who foretells me, then we can take one step. We only have to do one thing to fulfill prophecy at this point. Go camping. Oh, two things. Hold a solemn assembly. Okay. Now, the big problem that we have right now that Biden is trying to, it has got to try to tackle and is not going to tackle in time is COVID-19. Now, the government of the United States and the governments of the states of the United States will not, have not locked us down as a nation, stopped at cold turkey so that we can end COVID. Why? Money. That's why. So the corporations don't have to stop making everything. But you know, the answer to COVID is very simple. Just look at other countries. Lock down, quarantine, make that quarantine stick. And in the matter of weeks, you've got a society free of COVID. So, since the United States government is unwilling and unable to do what is required in a pandemic as severe as COVID, I suggest that we quarantine the fuck out of ourselves. So, abandon Trump. He's an idiot, a fool, and he's a one percenter who doesn't give a fuck about people without money. He just wants to take what little money you have. And if you look at your bank receipts, I bet you'll see that he's taking quite a bit. So don't give me a penny. I don't want your money. Money sucks and I don't need it. Okay? I don't need money. I need what I need Minecraft. Because I can take the refuse of this society and make everything I need out of it. Ask a picker. He knows. Ask a survivalist. They know. They know that one pack of viable seeds can feed you for a lifetime. No money required. Okay, that $5 that you spent on the pack of seeds, but that's it. Because you don't need fertilizer. Because you shit and pee, and so do your cat and dogs. That can become fertilizer. You can fertilize your seeds. You can fertilize your garden with your own shit if you do it right. And there are people who know how to do that. So we can go camping and we can spend minimal money on the way so that we have what we need to plant our garden. We have our tent and we have our beds, and then we can make everything else. And while we're at it, we can tell the United States of America that has put us in this position to go fuck off. We don't need you. We don't need your form of government because your form of government is nothing but a rich man's pageant, a rich man's contest. It doesn't have anything to do with us poor people. So let's go camping. Let's follow the prophecy, follow the example of Moses. I'll play the part of Moses. I've been preparing for it since 1979. So I'm ready. I have enough information to clear us of all charges because the Constitution does not allow us to be subjected to this kind of oppression. And if we stand up and demand a real, true trial, drug dealers or drug users versus the United States of America, we will win that contest because we have the right to privacy, the pursuit of happiness, and self-determination, all of which are guaranteed to us by the Bill of Rights, which is the foundation of the Constitution of the United States of America. No law that violates the Bill of Rights is a legal law in the United States of America. So let's stand up for ourselves the right way, for the right cause. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light. The unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it, and make that your guild choice when we get to camp. That'll make you happy. If you use drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know. I wrote 2 books about it. My name is Zion. I am the Zion of the Most High God of Israel. And I love you too much to say goodbye. So I'm going to say later now.